Ready? Welcome. Howdy. Oh, everyone quieted down. I didn't have to raise my hand and say, please be quiet. My name is Bill Jacobson, and I am on behalf of the Men of Kol Ami. I wish to welcome you to a wonderful Shabbat service. And I just have to let you know that I intended to ride down the aisle in my steed that I had rented. And it was supposed to have been here, but evidently it was too slow. It was only 1 horsepower. So how quickly they turn. I want to welcome all those of you on Zoom as well. If you would please get the names of those folks you wish to have mentioned in the Kaddish and the Shebeirach list, please do that sometime at the beginning of the service. Welcome to everyone, and I hope if you don't like the service, I'm Paul Lethwitz. So in any event, we'll begin.
Shabbat Shalom. So this is the famous Rodeo Shabbat that all of you have graciously come return to despite what you might have heard about it. So Rodeo Shabbat is about, of course, the parade and the rodeo. Maybe you've had the opportunity to attend one or many of the events in Tucson. Cowboys like to sing. And cowboys like to ride horses, and cowboys like to march in parades, and cowboys like to dance. So I have thought that I'm going to teach you a Nigun, which is a song without words. The advantage to that is you can put your Mishkan Tefillah down because you won't need it, and you can clap your hands. And then if you like, we can matriculate to dancing. There is no, you don't have to. If you want to, it's great. If you don't, that's okay too. So the Nigun goes like this. La, 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 la. La 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 la. Bravo. Thank you very much.
Good evening. Good evening. As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we by our lives give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled lights, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light. If these are trick birthday candles. Look at that. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'tzotav b'tzivanu lahad likner shel Shabbat. Blessed art thou, blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us dudes with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat. Amen.
Good evening. Page 6, please. Thank you very much. And if y'all want to help me read this out loud, please do so. May the door of this synagogue be wide enough to receive all who hunger for love, all who are lonely for friendship. May welcome all who thanks to express, hopes to nurture. May the door of this synagogue be narrow enough to shut out pettiness and pride, envy and enmity. May the threshold be no stumbling block to young or straying feet. May it be high to admit complacency, selfishness, and harshness. May this synagogue be for all who enter the doorway to a richer and more meaningful life.
Page 10. Hinei Mah Tov u'manayim Shebeirach gam yachad. Hinei Mah Tov u'manayim Shebeirach gam yachad. Hinei Mah Shebeirach gam yachad. Hinei Mah Tov Shebeirach gam yachad. Hinei Mah Tov u'manayim Shebeirach gam yachad. Ayim Shebeirach gam yachad. And as my mother used to say, Haba guten Shabbos.
We're at the bottom of page 15. A psalm. Sing to Adonai a new song, for God has worked wonders. God's right hand, God's holy arm has won God victory. Adonai has manifested God's victory, has displayed God's triumph in the sight of the nations. God was mindful of God's steadfast love and faithfulness toward the house of Israel. All the ends of the earth beheld the victory of our God. Raise a shout to Adonai, all the earth. Break into joyous songs of praise.
Service continues on page 20 with the chanting of Dodi. Again, because this is Rodeo Shabbat, we're going to deviate from the usual melodies that you all know so well, unless you're familiar with the song, The Streets of Laredo. Lecha Dodi likrat kalon, Pnei Shabbat nekabelon. Lecha Dodi likrat kalon, Pnei Shabbat nekabelon. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur v'chon, Ishmeonu el ham yuchon. Adonai echad u'shemo b'chon, l'shem ultiferet v'litchilon. Lecha Dodi likrat kalon, Pnei Shabbat nekabelon. Lecha Dodi likrat kalon, Pnei Shabbat nekabelon. Likrat Shabbat lechuvenecha, ki mekor haberacha. Merosh mikedem nesucha, soch ma'aseh b'machsheva techila. Lecha Dodi likrat kalon, Pnei Shabbat nekabelon. Lecha Dodi likrat kalon, Pnei Shabbat nekabelon. Hitoreri, kiva orech umi ori, uri shir daveri, kevod Adonai elayich niglon. Lecha Dodi likrat kalon, Pnei Shabbat nekabelon. Lecha Dodi likrat kalon, Pnei Shabbat nekabelon. Going b'shalom ateret ba'alam, gam b'simcha u'v'tzolom, toch emunei am segulon. Boi kalon, boi kalon. Lecha Dodi likrat kalon, Pnei Shabbat nekabelon. Lecha Dodi likrat kalon, Pnei Shabbat nekabelon. Please be seated.
We are on page 23. Adonai is sovereign. God is robed in grandeur. Adonai is robed. God is girded with strength. The world stands firm, it cannot be shaken. Your throne stands firm from of old. From eternity you have existed. The ocean sounds, Adonai. The ocean sounds its thunder. The ocean sounds its pounding. Above the thunder of the mighty waves, more majestic than the breakers of the sea, is Adonai, majestic on high. Your decrees are indeed enduring. Holiness befits your house, Adonai, for all times.
Please turn to page 26 for the Chatzi Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah V'alma divrach hirutei v'amlich malchutei B'chayecho uv'yomecho uv'chayedecho Beit Yisrael V'agala V'agala uv'izman kari V'yimeru Amen Yehei Shmei Rabbah Mevorach Le'olam alal me'yomaya Yitbarach Yitbarach Ve'yishtabach Ve'yitpar Ve'yitromam Ve'yitnaseh Ve'yitada Ve'yitaleh Ve'yitala Shemei Dekudesha Barechu Leila Min kol bechata v'shirata Tush bechata v'nechemata Damiran b'alma Ve'imeru Amen.
We continue on page 28. Please rise if you're able. Continuing on page 30, Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu melech Olam, Asher bidbaro MaAriv Aravim, B'chokhmah poteach sha'arim, U'v'guna mishane itim, U'machalif et hazmanim, U'mesader et hakochavim, V'mishprotehem barakir kirtzono, Borei yom v'layla, Kolel or mipnei choshech, V'choshech mipnei or, U'ma'avir yom u'mivilayla, Umavdil ben yom ben laila, Adonai tzavot shemo, El chai v'kayam, Tamid yimloch Aleinu le'olam va'ed, Baruch ata Adonai, MaAriv Aravim.
Page 31. This is an hour of change. Within we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is an hour of change, and within it we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? Adonai, Aravim.
Please remain standing and turn to page 34 for the Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shem Kivod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. You may be seated. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha ubechol nafshecha ubechol meodecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibartam bam Beshiftecha b'veitecha uvlechtecha v'aderech uvshochtecha uvekumecha ukshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot beineinecha uchtaftam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha Leman tiskeru vasitem et kol mitzvotai vitem kedoshim lelochem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeti echem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem lelohim ani Adonai Elohechem.
All right, y'all, we continue on page 36 and read together. You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. Take to heart these instructions with which I charge you this day. Impress them upon your children. Recite them when you stay at home and when you're away, when you lie down and when you get up. Bind them as a sign upon your hand, and let them serve as a symbol on your forehead. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Thus you shall remember to observe all my commandments and be holy to your God. I am Adonai, your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am Adonai, your God.
Service continues on page 44 with the chanting of a Shamaru. V'shamaru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat לעשות את השבת לדורותם בריתו עולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם בריתו עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם בריתו עולם. כי ששת ימים עשו אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם בריתו. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם בריתו.
Okay, so the service continues on page 46 with the Amida. Please stand up if you can. Adonai Sefatai Tivtak Ufia Gita Hilatet. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. The service continues on 48. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu, B'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, El Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanorah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei HaKol, V'zoter Chasdei HaRovim HaHol, Umevi Gula Livnei B'neihem, Leman Shemo Miyahava, Melech Ozer Umoshia Umagain. Adonai, Magen Abraham, Be'ezrat Saraham, Tagi Bor Leolam Adonai, Mikaye HaKol Atavrav Lehoshia, Ma'ashiv Yaruach, Umorid HaGashem, Mikael Chaim B'chesed, Mikaye HaKol V'rakamim Rabim. So make no flame V'rofei Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umikaye Memunato, Lishenei Afar, Michamocha, Mal Geburot, Umidom Elam, Melech Memi, Umikaye, Umatzbiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman Hatalachayot HaKol. Baruch atah Adonai, Mikaye HaKol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kiddushim b'kol yom yalu chaselam. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. Okay, continue praying as your heart helped you to do, and go to up until page 62.
Howdy. We're all going to sing MoKA to Red River Valley, so hope you all join me. MoKA Bailim Adonai. MoKA Nedar Bakodesh. Nora Tehilot Oseh Shalom. Nora Tifodo Sefele. Malkutecha Rovanecha. Boketayim Lo Leolam Vaed. Mar Kifata Adonai. Et Yaakov Ugalo Miyadcha. One more time, everybody, please, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me. MoKA Bailim Adonai. MoKA Nedar Bakodesh. Nora Tehilot Oseh Shalom. Nora Tehilot Oseh Shalom. Thank you very much.
Page 41. Which I have enlarged because I can't see. Grant, O God, that we lie down in peace and raise up our guardian to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your good counsel, for your name's sake, be our help. Shield and shelter us beneath the shadow of your wings. Defend us against enemies, illness, war, famine, and sorrow. Distance us from wrongdoing, for you, God, watch over us and deliver us. For you, God, are graceful, gracious, and merciful. Guard our going and coming to life and to peace evermore. Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem.
We're going to continue the service on the bottom of page 62. And if you'll join with me. Oseh Shalom Bimroman. Say Shalom Aleinu. Ve'al Kol Yisrael. Ve'imru Amen. Say Shalom. Say Shalom. Shalom Aleinu. Ve'al Kol Yisrael. Say Shalom. Say Shalom. Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael.
We continue on page 63. Create a pure heart within me. Let my soul wake up in your light. Open me to your presence. Flood me with your Holy Spirit. Then I will stand and sing out the power of your forgiveness. I will teach your love to the lonely. The lost will find their way home. Adonai, open up my lips, and my mouth will declare your praise.
We're collecting prayer books over here. Okay. Someone's lost her prayer book. So I'll get it back to you eventually. So we continue now with our prayer of healing. For those who are online joining us at home, you can send those to Sydney or on whatever platform you're on, the comment section. If there are those within our community, I'm going to ask you just a moment to add any names of loved ones that you want added to our Shebeirach list. We have recently added President Jimmy Carter, Sid Listen, Michael Kay, Adam Applebaum, Michael Fisher, Charlotte Sheppers, and Mary Campbell. If there's anyone here who has a loved one they'd like to mention for healing of body, soul, and spirit, you may do so at this time. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Marcia. So someone who is hiking and their back went out and it was guaranteed that we as a whole community are going to pray for this person. We will do that. All those who are suffering in Ukraine, thank you so much for mentioning them. Yes. Deborah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. And from home, Boyd Pomeroy. So we joined together with the singing of the Shebeirach, page 253. Page 253, please rise if you would like. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mi Shebeirach imotenu makor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shalema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. Please be seated. And now we invite Dr. and Wrangler, Art Sanders, who will be delivering the Devar Torah for this evening.
Well, the Torah, excuse me, the Torah portion this week is Terumah from Exodus chapter 25. The chapter describes in great detail the building of the tabernacle or the Mishkan that will be a sanctuary for God to dwell among the people, a sacred place, a sacred space for God. Well, the construction is described in great detail and requires gold, silver, copper, scarlet wool, linen, goat hair, red-dyed ram skin, acacia wood, oils, and stone. The chapter also describes in great detail how to construct the ark, the ark, the cover, the two cherubim of gold, a table, a menorah, the 10 curtains, the altar, the partitions, and every detail of the courtyard. Yet the title of the chapter is not how to build a tabernacle for dummies. It is terumah, which means gift or giving or offering. And the chapter begins, God spoke to Moses saying, tell the Israelite people to bring me gifts. You shall accept gifts for me from every person whose heart moves him. Call ish asher yibadu libo. So we know this is voluntary. It's not a tax on people. It's not a membership. It's actually an opportunity. It's God is giving an opportunity to give and be part of this sanctuary building. So I would suggest the real meaning of this chapter is not about building, but about gifting or offering. Gifting should not be transactional. It should not be thought of an act of reciprocity. Gifting should be an act of compassion. By gifting out of compassion and not expecting anything in return, we form a relationship with others and recognize our shared humanity. Rabbi Etienne Fishban of the Jewish Theologic Seminary writes, and I quote, when we are at our best, we give not in order to receive. We give in the way that the Hasidic masters speak of the ultimate service to God, the act of Mesirat Nefesh, the giving of one's whole soul to divinity in the moment of worship and in the fulfillment of mitzvah. Mesirat Nefesh is the process of transcending the prison of our own egotism and self-centeredness. We seek to break open the self-protective walls of our heart, to make ourselves truly vulnerable to the indwelling of the divine presence. In opening our hearts to others with generosity and vulnerability, we come to stand in the radiant and transformative presence of God, the divinity that dwells within, not only beyond the human. So when God, end quote, when God asks every person whose heart moves him or her, Kol ish asher yibadu libo, to bring God gifts, it is within our heart that God will find a sanctuary to dwell. Similar to Buddha's thought, compassion and the realization of our oneness teaches us to build a sanctuary in our hearts. His Holiness, the Dalai Lama, said, quote, we should have a clear realization of the oneness of all humanity. Only the development of compassion and understanding for others can bring us tranquility and the happiness we seek. Rabbi Fishban again further notes that commentators have long noticed the fact that while the text refers to sanctuary in the singular, God's dwelling place is in the plural, Bishakante Betokum, that I may dwell among them. Thus, Hasidic thinkers have suggested that Bishakante Betokum may be understood as the dwelling of the divine presence within the depths of each person. The divine sanctuary is recast from an architectural sacred space to the temple of the human heart, the holy interior of the human being within the divine Shekhinah radiates outward from the inner depth of ourselves. As we stand before the mystery of God in prayer and in mitzvah, we seek to present to the divinity that pulses within all things, the oneness of being that circulates and nourishes all of life. Finally, the same theme of our oneness in the universe is the focus of a recent book by Rabbi Naomi Levy titled Einstein and the Rabbi Searching for the Soul. Rabbi Levy explores a letter that Albert Einstein wrote to Rabbi Robert Marcus after the death of Rabbi Marcus's son of tuberculosis in 1950. Rabbi Marcus is one of the unsung heroes of World War II. He was part of the army, a chaplain in the army, and helped liberate some of the concentration camps. But after the war was over, he also stayed and tried to ensure that all the orphans that, especially in the Buchenwald concentration camp, were taken care of. Rabbi Marcus wrote Albert Einstein looking for a scientist's perspective on life and death in order to process his grief. Einstein replied, and I quote, "A human being is part of the whole, called by us universe, a part limited in time and space. He experiences himself, his thoughts, his feelings as something separated from the rest, a kind of optical delusion of his consciousness. The striving to free from this delusion is the one issue of true religion. Not to nourish this delusion, but to overcome it is the way to reach the attainable measure of peace of mind." So in conclusion, we would be wise to follow the teachings of our Hasidic scholars, the Dalai Lama, and Albert Einstein. Our Torah portion this week, Terumah, teaches us a key lesson, not so much about building a tabernacle, but about living our lives, recognizing the delusion of our individual separateness, transcending our self-centeredness, and nurturing the God within us all. Thank you.
Thank you, Art, so much. One of the blessings of this Torah portion enumerated by Art is this idea of unity is really bizarre, because this is the one time where all the individuals are not to bring cash to support the sanctuary, right, or to maintain the sanctuary, but each brings their own individual gift for the sake of unity, which is great. And I just want to personally thank Paul for corralling all these diverse folks who have given so many diverse gifts in so many different ways to our community. So thank you, Paul, for your unifying spirit to bring us together tonight. I really appreciate that. So this part of our service is a blessing for the Men of Kol Ami. And if I can impose, I saw, is Cantor still here? Oh, there you are. If I can impose on you in a minute for Shekianu, because it's such a blessing that we all came to this sacred place at this particular time. I normally would have written a blessing for all of you, but instead I was drawn to my bookshelf, which is made up of over 900 volumes, most of which I am leaving with Kol Ami, but some are returning to my home. And I found, I was drawn this evening as I was writing a blessing for you all to a text that was written in 1923 by rabbis of the Central Conference of American Rabbis, I think, to bless you all at this very moment with a very special blessing. So I'd like all the men who are present to please rise. And I'll give you this blessing, and then hopefully Cantor Cohen will assist with a Shekianu. And by the way, Rabbi Malcolm Cohen would have loved to have been here, but he's with our teenager. I shouldn't say but. He is with our teenagers at a special conference in Washington, D.C. And Sarah Bolt, our cantorial intern, has been called to worship with a small Jewish community in northern Scottsdale this evening. But I know their best thoughts are with you. Here's my blessing for you from the mouths of these rabbis from 1923. Be as strong as a leopard, as swift as an eagle, as fleet as a stag, and as mighty as a lion, in doing the will of your God who is in heaven. Let each man take on the strength of a lion as he arises each morning to the service of his Creator. Like a swift-moving fire which ceases not or rests until it accomplishes its purpose, so must a man's energy be in service of our God.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. Amen.
Please be seated except for Art Geiger.
Shabbat Shalom. Before I present this, let me give you a little bit of a history of the Mensch Kop. It says the Mensch Kop in MoKA. At this time, it was originally created for the men's club of Temple Emmanuel. But I think we all walk in the steps of the first two people that were awarded this cup, which is meant to honor the person who has done the most, not necessarily the most, but the best for the men of the synagogue, whichever synagogue we're talking about. To bring it together, to give back to the synagogue that we're members of. And the first two names on here were significant to both Temple Emmanuel and Orthodox Men's Club. The first is Norm Dritch of blessed memory, and the second is Dave Flyer. And I firmly believe that we all inadequately walk in their shoes and in their steps to make the men of now of Kol Ami a strong organization, as well as being able to give back to Kol Ami. And I think we've done that admirably this year. And in doing so, we honor the person who really has helped us do that. He is a gentleman who has really helped bring the two groups together. And I can say that as of today, MoKA, the Men of Kol Ami, the whole is much stronger and much larger and greater than the sum of its parts. And I have to thank that gentleman for that. Without him, I don't know where we would be. I think that we would be along the same path, but I think it'd be a slower path. So I think that getting to where we are today, we have to honor this person. That person is Mr. Kane here. I can't say enough words, good words, about Steve, because he's done a great job. And as honoring this is, and a mazel tov to you, we have to give him a mazel tov to an even greater joy today, which is your grandchild. Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you. You're welcome. But you did it.
Yeah. Shabbat Shalom. And as long as Sheldon is quoting his mother, good Shabbos. And who knew that this day, what a Shabbos, what a Shabbat it is for me. Who knew that this day, getting this honor would be secondary to my grandchild, my first grandchild, and Heather had something to do with that. I want to thank the brothers of MoKA and Men of Kol Ami for honoring me with this and all of the names are that are on this cup are terrific people. I knew it was supposed to be a surprise, but I'm president of MoKA and president of the board, so I obviously knew who was chosen. But in any case, rather than go on, I want to thank the Men of Kol Ami and not say too much more in case I wake up and find out this didn't happen. So thank you for the kind words, Art, and I almost thought it wasn't going to be me when he was mentioning all the attributes of that person. But thank you from Shabbat Shalom.
So thank you, Steve. And now a prayer for the country. Our God and God of our ancestors, we ask your blessing for our country, for its government, for its leaders and advisors, and for all who exercise just and rightful authority. Teach them insights from your Torah that they may administer all affairs of state fairly, that peace and security, happiness and prosperity, justice and freedom may forever abide in our midst. Creator of all flesh, bless all inhabitants of our country with your spirit. May citizens of all races and creeds forge a common bond in true harmony to banish hatred and bigotry and to safeguard the ideals and free institutions that are the pride and glory of our country. May this land under your providence be an influence for God throughout the world, uniting all people in peace and freedom, helping them to fulfill the vision of your prophet. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they experience war anymore. And let us say, Amen.
Good evening and Shabbat Shalom. Welcome to everyone who's here in person and online. I'm Scott Arden, immediate past president on the Kol Ami Board of Trustees. Thanks to all who made tonight's service possible, behind the scenes and front and center, including Rabbi Lockheim, Cantor Cohen, Chris Tackett on piano, and the many members of MoKA, the Men of Kol Ami. The Men of Kol Ami is truly an organization worthy of praise. They came together of their own accord, and I'm proud to call myself a member. All the wonderful things that happen, some of them you don't even know that it's MoKA behind the scenes. So thanks to all the tireless energy that makes MoKA the great thing that it is. I do have a few things to tell you. First, Isaiah Batista's bar mitzvah is next Saturday. Mazel tov to Isaiah and family. Two additional important dates to remember are March 10th for Rabbi Malcolm Cohen's installation and May 13th to honor Rabbi Lockheim at our gala event. And please join us in these events. So normally at this time, I'd read you a number of other announcements, but tonight we're trying something different. Rather, we're just going to point you to and encourage you to check out the Kol Ami website and the wonderful Kol Ami weekly email. So what we're going to try different tonight is I'm going to introduce myself and talk a little bit about my experiences at Kol Ami very briefly. So we moved to Tucson, my family, in 2007 and became a member shortly thereafter of Legacy Congregation Temple Emmanuel. I had the good fortune to work with some of the folks that have been mentioned, such as Norm Dritch and the many following in the footsteps of many great folks who have, over the course of time, given their services to then Temple Emmanuel and, of course, Congregation Or Hadash. And now we come together at Kol Ami and we look at each other and we forget, in a good way, our origins, and we think much more about who we are. And that appeals to me greatly. My daughter Miriam and my son Joshua were bat and bar mitzvahed in this very room. So this room has many wonderful memories. I've had the honor of serving on the Board of Trustees for some time. My wife Sue and I love to come here and to reconnect with old friends and to meet new folks as well. I had the privilege of signing, along with Elaine Jones, the Articles of Incorporation for the formation of Kol Ami in 2021. Certainly a very memorable event attended by Rabbi Lockheim, which made it even more memorable. Today, as immediate past president, I have the honor and privilege to serve as chair of the Strategic Planning Task Force, and you'll hear more about that as we dig in and get our work done. So on behalf of everybody, the staff, the clergy, and the Board of Trustees of Kol Ami, we wish you a wonderful rodeo weekend, an absolutely fantastic week to come, and a Shabbat Shalom.
Please rise and join me on page 282 for one of our concluding prayers, the Aleinu. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, la'tei gedula liotze breshit, shehu hasanu kigoye haratzot, velo samanu k'mishpachot hadama. Shelo sam helkenu kahem vigor aleinu kechol hamona vanachnu korim umishtacharim umodim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu v'nema V'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad.
Please be seated. So before the Kaddish, just want to remind everyone of our special Shabbat offerings next Friday night. We have a 5:15 dinner. You need to register for that if you're going to come to that, so you can do that online. And then there's a 6 o'clock Shabbat light service here in the sanctuary, followed by an oneg somewhere around 6:45. And then there's going to be a lay-led Shabbat service at 7:15 in the chapel. So as Scott said, check for the details online on our website for that information, but hopefully all of you can come to that. And now, for those who are at home, we remind you, if you have a name for Kaddish, to send that to Sydney or in the comment section, whatever platform you're on. And we take a moment of reflection before the reading of the Kaddish. And for those who are in the sanctuary, who are going to be saying Kaddish for a loved one this evening, if you would like to come forward, pick up a pebble, hold it in your hand, symbolically feeling the impact of that person's life on your heart, your soul, and your life, and then place it on the table. You may do so at this time. So we reflect, and for those who are saying Kaddish who want to pick up a pebble and place it in their hand, they can do that at this time. So we recall at this time those laid to rest within the last 30 days. And when you hear your loved one's name mentioned, we ask that you please rise and remain standing. Fran Hawk, Erwin Roseman, Ace, as we knew him, Amy Cohen, Ernest Anditch. And we observe the Yortzeit, those who died at this season in years past: Isidore Abramovitz, Jean Adelstein, Gay Amato, Yvette Appel, Gussie Bartz, Naomi D. Bear, Edward Blau, Patricia Buchanan, Max Cavalier, Elizabeth Claster, Rosa Cohen, Jack Derman, Kevin DeVaron, Pearl Ehrenreich, Martha Allentuck, Dorothy Ehrman, Michael Faber, Rose Feld, Ninon Franklin, M. Patricia Friedman, Rose Friedman, Julius Gore, Terry Hamroff, Martin Harrow, Don Hillman, Frona Katz, Sally Kirshner, Anna Rose Leonard, Stella Levin, Evelyn Levy, Fanny Onstein Levy, Isaac Lichter, Oscar London, Morris Luxembourg, Martin Malsh, Joshua Miller, Charles Miller, Kenneth Miller, Silly Moser, Max Moser, Marie Pohutsky, Samuel Resnick, Nancy Rodkoff, Nestor Roos, Albert Rosenblum, Dale Samlin, James Silver, Jack Starr, Isidore Sternstein, Samuel Stewart, Ruth Weinman, Robert Weiss, Samuel Zarinsky. If there are those in the sanctuary who are saying Kaddish for someone whose name was not mentioned, if you would rise and mention those names and remain standing, Jim. Thank you. And right behind you, yeah. Thank you. Anyone else? We ask our community then to please rise and join these loved ones as we read the Kaddish together on page 294, page 294. Yitgadal, V'yitkadash, Shemei Rabbah, B'yalma, Divra, Cherutei, V'yamlik, Malchutei, B'chayechon, Uvyomechon, Uvchaye, D'chol Beit Yisrael, Ba'gala, Vizman, Kariv, V'yamru, Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabba Mivorach Leolam Ulameo Maya Yitbarach V'yishtabach V'yitpa'ar V'yitramam V'yitnaseh V'yithadar V'yithale V'yithalal Shmei Dekudasha Barechu Le'elam Minko Birchata V'shirata Tushbachata V'nechemata Damiran V'yama V'yamru Amen. Yehei Shlomo Rabba Min Shemaya V'chaim Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael V'yamru Amen. Oseh Shalom B'mramav Huya Oseh Shalom Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael V'yamru Amen. V'yamru Amen. V'yamru 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 Amen. Please be seated. And as Paul's coming over, just a reminder for us to be sensitive to those who are wearing masks. We have plenty of masks in the hallway. So if you're with someone, talking to someone who's wearing a mask, we recommend, if you can, to wear a mask when you're talking to that person. So we have many of those for you to do that. And thank you all again. I want to thank Paul so much for putting together a beautiful service tonight with all of these guys. And again, I personally want to thank the Men of Kol Ami, who are just marvelous human beings who've done so much for this community. I know they will strive to be as strong as lions to do more as we move forward year after year.
So the concluding song before Kiddush is Adon Olam, which you'll find on page 321 in your Mishkan Tefillah. The thing about Adon Olam is you can adapt it to any music. Name any song, you can do it to Adon Olam. I have a very good friend who was leading a service. He was actually officiating for a bat mitzvah, and he had a practice of whatever the B'nai Mitzvah wanted for Adon Olam, he would sing that melody. And she asked for Pretty Woman. I got to tell you, he got a lot of pushback on it. We're not doing Pretty Woman. In light of the fact that it's Rodeo Shabbat, I thought it appropriate to do Turkey in the Straw. So if you know that, please join me. Adon Olam asher malach b'terem kol yitzir nivra le'et naso b'chefso kol azai melech shemo nikra v'yacharei kichlot hakol levado yimlok mara v'hu hoya v'hu hoveh v'hu yiyeh b'tifara v'hu echad v'yin sheni v'hamshi lo lehachbira b'li rashit b'li tachli v'lo ha'oz v'hal mizrah v'hu eli v'chaydo ali v'tur chavli v'yet sorrow Nisi umanosli Menot kosi beyond makra, beyond akid ruki. Vieti shan ve'ayira ve'imruki viati. I don't know the low hero.
Well, I will say that the rehearsal is going very well. Now we're going to start again on page 5. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pari hagofen. Mahayim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem mini oretz. Amen.
Shabbat Shalom.
Old habit.